Slangin The Bizkit, episode 31, joined by Pat Shea, and we have a guest this week. I am super excited for this guest. I am 30 milligram rock hard this week, I'm telling you. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous. Pat, how are you feeling chiming in from Marshfield, Mass?
I'm feeling amazing. My mic's just now malfunctioning for a sec. I'm feeling excited. Trav has been talking about this all week, not to make you feel uncomfortable, but Trav likes you like a lot. He's been talking about you a lot. I know when you said 25, I thought you were going to say you're 25 years old, fanboying over a 18-year-old, but it's all the same. But I'm excited too. Excited to have you on here.
Yeah, you know what? If I'm being honest, so our guest this week, Jesper Wallstedt, he's a stud. If you don't know who this kid is, you've been living under a rock. I'm telling you, like you live in the middle of nowhere. You have no TV, no internet. You might even live in like a farm because everybody knows who this kid is, especially in Sweden. And even if you were watching the draft last year, 20th overall, first round pick. I'm going to be honest, my friend. I first heard about you last year when I was playing out in Flemingsberg around the Stockholm area. And the guy that I was living with, he's like, you hear about this Wallstedt kid? I'm like, no, tell me more about him. He's like, this kid broke into the SHL, the Swedish League, at 16. I'm like, no way. And I'm going to be honest. I went back to watch the highlights from your first game 2 years ago today. And also when my friend told me at this time, dude, the composure you had at 16 years old to just come in there cold and do an SHL game and just shut the door, it's absolutely inspirational, man. I sincerely mean that. It really is.
Do you want to touch? I think that says a lot about you. Do you want to touch on that? Like as a 16-year-old playing in the SHL, how did you manage to stay so composed? Was it a confidence thing, or did you have like a preparation that you kind of went about?
I think I've always been pretty confident in myself and have that calmness in my game when I'm out there playing. I'm confident in my technique and that my game style that I play is working for me. At that age, as 16 years old, getting into that league is of course a big thing. But for me, it was always just getting out there, doing my best, and trying to provide as good of a chance as possible for our team to win the game. And that's still my job today, trying to keep down the goals against and trying to give my players on the ice as good of a chance as possible to win the game, because I can't score and score goals forward and win us the game, but I can always give them as good of a chance to always be in the game and give us a chance to win. So just getting in there and trusting myself and trusting the game that I play is very important for me.
And just to provide a little bit of context to the people watching, if you're watching the video version on YouTube or the audio version on Spotify or Apple, a lot of people don't understand like the way like hockey in Europe works, like the rankings, like how leagues work and whatnot. So yes, we're playing in the SHL, Swedish Elite League, formerly known, and it's the top level in all of Sweden. And this would literally be the equivalent of a 16-year-old kid coming into like the American Hockey League, borderline NHL, and lighting it up at 16 years old. I want people at home to grasp that for a second. That is how big of it, like I'm serious, that's how big of a deal this is. And if you watch the highlights from this season from this kid, or from his first game when he was 16, just oozes confidence. And I'm going to be honest as well. I know I'm fanboying a lot, and I will continue to do this over the next hour, my friend. I am chapped because we were messaging this week, or last week it was, that I was going to go to the game with Rogel and Lulea this weekend. The guy that I was going to go with got COVID, and we didn't end up going to the game. I was so chapped. I ended up watching the game on TV, and it was still nice to watch, but I really wanted to go to the game and see the in-person experience, but Buddy got COVID, so that's his fault.
I was very unlucky because it was actually a pretty good game too. I was playing one of my close friends from national team in the other net. We were both 0-2s, both goalies on the ice, and we are the ones trying to compete for a spot in the World Junior Championship team, both Swedish goalies. So it was a tight game. Unfortunately, we lost with 3-1, laying 2 goals and. But at the end, it was a very tight game. So unfortunately, you missed that game.
I know, dude. I'm chapped, and especially like the Rogla rink, like where they're playing, isn't too far from here. Like Rogla or Frölunda. I went to the Indians game a week ago, 2 weeks ago to see Matty Tompkins play, and I was looking forward to this. I'm chapped, but we will regroup and we will reschedule someone to go go back to the drawing board and find some tickets. So anyway, I had an idea to start the podcast off. I know We don't know each other. You don't know us. We don't know you. It's a little bit odd doing these interviews, but we have come up with a strategy over the course of our Slangin The Bizkit podcasting career, which has lasted 31 episodes, about a half a year, 6 months, give or take. We like to ask the hard-hitting questions. We like to do a Q&A with you. Are you up for the task, my friend?
Hell yeah, sounds good.
Oh, this guy likes to party, Pat. I'm telling you, he's ready.
The Trav's followers threw out some questions. He dropped a Q&A on his story. So these, a lot of them are coming from them, and then we'll throw in a few of our own while we're at it.
Yes, there's a lot of weird questions. I'm going to be honest. There, to say that there are some questions that we couldn't ask would be an understatement. A, you won't answer them. B, I won't ask them. And even if we did, YouTube will take down the podcast because you can't be asking those types of questions. So to those people, you know who you are. Do better. We got some great questions though. I do have a personal question.
I was probably gonna throw in a pass or two if the question was too hard. So I hope I hope they're good enough.
I think these ones are good. All right, let's start off with the hard-hitting questions here, okay? So if you look at Jesper's Instagram profile, you see the Luleå jerseys. They have a Max burger sponsorship. And if you don't know what Max is, it's like the A&W of Sweden. It's the In-N-Out burger of Sweden. It's a pretty, prime time fast food establishment. My personal favorite place to go. Somebody wants to know, A, do you have a personal Max sponsorship? B, can we get Trav one too? And C, what is your favorite burger at Max?
No, I don't. As you said, our team is sponsored by Max, and the fun story about it is that the first Max in Sweden is actually in Luleå, and is probably around 200 meters or 300 meters away from the arena also. So we have our own meal in that Max that's called the Luleå hockey meal, which you can buy for sure. But I'm not sponsored by them, and I don't think that's possible to hook up also. And if you're asking me for my personal, I probably go with a Frisco burger, the Frisco meal, or the cheese and bacon meal. I like them. They're decent. I think Max overall it's a pretty good place, but probably not the place where I go every day.
For you, this is just my own question. Now, I know a lot of high-level athletes will follow a very strict diet. Now, what is your diet like overall? Do you have your cheat meals, or do you stay very disciplined?
I'll try to stay as disciplined as possible for the regular weekdays, from Monday through Thursday, and then I'll have my cheat meal either Friday or Saturday. So one of these days I usually choose where I want to cheat a little bit more.
Gotcha.
And then, so I always have one day a week that I cheat a little bit. And then Saturday, Sunday, let's say I cheat Friday, I take Saturday, Sunday very serious, and also the rest of the week. So try to get one day to just have that you can feel a little bit of an enjoyment at that day.
Oh, yeah.
And then it feels better to follow your diet the rest of the days, because okay, on Friday I can cheat a little bit. So that's how I try to put it down. And me personally is also a very very guy who loves sweets. I love candy. I love chips. I love all those fast foods restaurants. But I need to be as strict as possible when I'm playing at this level right now.
Absolutely. Are you a salted licorice kind of guy?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I've gotten more into it now when I've grown up a little bit. It's very Swedish and also a little bit Finnish, I think.
So I know Sweden actually has their own Swedish fish. Like the American Swedish fish is garbage, right? Like there's better ones over in Sweden.
What I have heard, I think they're very different. What I've heard, I personally haven't tasted the Swedish fish in America, but I know the Swedish fish back here it's decent. It's probably not my favorite, but it's
a solid fish. Good. You'd rather swordfish, tuna, more than the Swedish fish.
I'll probably stick with salmon instead.
Yeah, got it. Love that.
Now I got a question for you. So. Frölunda, the Indians, they have the Frölunda meal, which they have a McDonald's in the rink in the Scandinavium. So you get a Big Mac, cheeseburger, fries, I believe nuggets, ice cream, and dipping sauce. The Luleå meal at Max, what are you getting with that?
I think you get a Frisco burger or original burger, and then you get a small cheeseburger on the side, large fry, and a large drink, I think.
That's a good deal, man. And you said 200 meters from the rink, or it's actually integrated into the rink?
No, it's just down the road from the arena.
I was gonna say, like, I can picture, like, if I was ever playing in that area, you got to watch the skip the dishes order, because you put the Uber Eats to skip the dishes in, special instructions, south side net, come on the ice, deliver the meal right to me when I'm in the crease. That's what I'm picturing, because it's amazing food at Max.
Yeah, it's actually really good, but as I said, I'm trying my best to stay out of it, because I know it's not good for me. But as you say, it's really good.
Okay, a couple other questions. We actually, at this pace, we might burn the entire episode just going through questions. Favorite gear you've ever had in the past? Favorite set you've ever had?
Probably the Bauer Ultrasonics. I had them last year. This year I went with the Bauer Hyperlights, because of course they were new. I had to try them. But I'm really looking forward for the new their new Bauer line. I don't really know the name of them, but it's I think they're doing a new Supreme line that I'm really looking forward to. I'm usually a pretty big Supreme guy. I like the Supreme gear better than the Vapor guy, and now when I grew up, I have gotten a Bauer deal, so I only use Bauer gear. So
that's a personal Bauer deal, or that's a team Bauer deal?
No, I have my own Bauer deal also.
Wow, that's awesome,
so
dude.
Lulea is sponsored by Bauer, so you can only use Bauer and Lulea. So yeah, I really didn't have any choice.
Yeah, the gear looks great, dude. The Ultrasonics, the Hyperlights this year, the matte stuff, the Bauer, the 2022 stuff looks sharp too. Are you going to be getting a set anytime soon, or is that on its way already?
I hope I'll get my hands on one. I'll try. I've tried my best, but I don't really know when they are releasing.
Okay. To kind of change gears here, this is a question that I talked to Pat about, and we both kind of chuckled at this. So you're a Minnesota Wild draft pick, 20th overall this past summer's draft. We talked over text a little bit. You haven't been to Minnesota still, correct?
Yeah, I haven't.
Okay. Do you know much about Minnesota, about the climate, weather, temperature, all that stuff?
I think I've heard it's pretty similar to Sweden, actually. What I've got told. I was trying to get over there after the draft, but with all these COVID things and that things back and forth, we decided that it's best for me to just stay here and focus on this year. So I was looking forward to get there, but from what I've heard, it's pretty similar to maybe around the Stockholm area of Sweden. What I've heard.
It gets pretty cold in the winters, and this is a two-parter question. One, let's be honest, let's call it for what it is. You're going to sign an NHL contract at some point. When you sign that contract, do you have any idea what your first purchase is going to be? And if it is a car, do you have any idea if you're going to get a snowmobile to go to the rink because it snows so much in Minnesota? This is what Callum wanted me to ask you.
I don't know actually what I'm going to buy. I would like to think that I'm a big saver guy, that I like to save my money. But at these last couple of years, when I've gotten to take care of my own money, I've seen that I'm spending maybe a little bit too much some months. But I don't think a snowmobile is getting it. I think I got a snowmobile license up here because it's getting a lot of snow in Luleå. We are having minus 25 degrees in the winters, minus 30 degrees. So it's getting cold up here too. We have a lot of snow. So I've tried snowmobile. I like it, but I don't think I would buy myself one. I should probably give back to my dad a little bit and my mom, but we'll see if that's coming later maybe.
You get a snowmobile for the whole family. Get mom one, get dad one, get yourself one, just come whipping into practice on the snowmobile. Just coming down the loading dock at the XL Energy Center.
If you're a snowmobile company, get a sponsor. That would be clutch.
You know, I saw this electric snowmobile company. I think they're based out of San Diego. They have this really cool 100% all-electric one. Maybe that one might be the way to go. You know, nice and green, good for the environment, and it rips.
You care about the community, the economy, or no, the environment. Sorry, one of those.
I don't know if I'm a big electric guy. I like engines that roar. So
he loves them.
Hell, as much gas in there as you can. love those big trucks and big engine cars. So
There you go.
I don't know if I'm going much electric here.
I just picture Jesper walks in the dealership in Minnesota. Yeah, what are you looking for? Give me someone with about 1 mile per liter. That's the kind of fuel efficiency I want. Just stack it up.
I don't care about the environment.
When I was speaking with my agent and he was trying to, we were just joking around and he said, when you're going to Minnesota, you need a big Ram truck. So that's probably a big enough car to burn some liters.
It'll get you through the snow
gas.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of those flying around Sweden. That's a pretty popular truck for the most part for the trucks out here.
Yeah, I think they're very nice actually, and they sound really good. So.
Yeah, they do. You can just get the lift kit, get the whole thing lifted up, get it jacked up, get it tinted, tint the windows so nobody knows who you are, and then just leave it in idle, let it sit there for 8 hours running just to, whack up the gas bill. Now I got a question for you. So, and this is a very popular one in the Q&As. The good things in your game. If you were to pinpoint the best part of your game, what would it be?
I would probably say my game sense and the way I try to read the game and always try to stay one step further than the opponents I'm playing. In my mind, I always try to be one step further than them, trying to read the play and see how the plays comes up, and always try to as I said, be one step further. That together with my technical side and my technique is my two biggest strengths, and pretty much what builds up my game plan and the way I want to play. So those two especially.
And what's the first thing you're looking for? A guy's coming down, teams rushing down up the ice. They're setting up shop in in your end. What's the first one or two things you're looking for to make a read off of?
I'm always looking at his blade if he shoots. I want to see his blade and see how he's trying to form that blade and where he's gonna throw the puck. But also always, I want to be aware of where the threats are coming. If there's someone is in back door and or if they come in a rush, and I need to know what the other player on the other side is, if he's left-handed or right-handed. If he can shoot directly, or if it's gonna be needed to take the puck before he's shooting, all those small details to be aware of how much time I have and how fast I need to make a decision, or how long my movement over there is gonna be, and all those small things. And these goes in microseconds, and you have to be really sharp to be able to read those plays and understand what's going to happen in those situations. And if I'm not having a clear mind and have prepared myself well, I'm not going to be able to do that 100% every time. So those are very important for me.
Absolutely. And are you communicating with the defenseman off your reads? Like, is that a conversation you have of the defenseman are going to set up in whatever formation, or they're going to make a read and then you're going to base yourself off of that, or no?
I think we have a structure, but every situation that happens on the ice is different. We can't say in these situations we're gonna do like this. We can have a structure and a ground to stand on what we want to do in all those different situations. But at the time when we're out there, everything goes so fast. We just have to communicate out there on the ice and just try to stay to our game plan and make the situation as good as possible for everyone. And at the end, I'm trying to save the puck, and they're trying to help me as well as possible to make my work a little bit easier.
Yeah, and hey, you're doing a great job so far. I mean, you're rocking a 910 on the season, 940 last season. Like, come on, 940. Like, what more do you want from the kid? But I think everybody has some things to work on, right? Everybody has a downside to their game, which is why I want to talk to you about the first sponsor for today's podcast, the amazing folks at Sheath Underwear. Pat knows all about this. They've been helping Pat with his game. And Jesper, maybe we can even, hook you up and get you taken care of with the boys at Sheath. Pat, tell them why Sheath is the best when it comes to the men's underwear game.
Yeah, for years of my life, I was struggling with underwear. As a young kid, like every young American boy, you want to be an underwear model growing up. You look up to guys like Mark Wahlberg, and you start to wear and try different underwear out, and then you go and try to skate with them on, and and they're weighing you down. You know, you're in the gym, you're trying to do squats, you get stuck at the bottom because your underwear weigh too much. But then one day I started doing the podcast with Trav, and he's like, Pat, you have to try sheath underwear. I was like, yeah. I've heard all about the underwear companies. I quit wearing those years ago because I got stuck at the bottom of my squat. And then I put on sheath underwear, and not only are they lightweight and comfortable and don't weigh you down, they actually have a nice comfort, like they have a little spot for both pieces of your private area for a nice comfort feel, and they're weirdly tight they fit right on your body at the perfect amount, so you can move at high speeds on the ice and you can squat and not get stuck at the bottom. It really is the whole 9 yards over at Sheath Underwear. And they have great t-shirts like these ones. These are actually my go-to, like when I'm just hanging around the house or I'm going out and hanging out with some friends casually, you know, maybe grabbing some coffee. I'm wearing this sheath shirt because it's nice and comfortable and it shows off your muscles a little bit, you know, wraps around the arm nicely. So if you want to pick up any of the merch, if you're not an underwear guy, grab the shirts. Great stuff.
Yeah, and here's a little podcast exclusive for you. And Jesper, I know you're going to love this one. So Pat FaceTimes me the other day. He's got a sheath shirt on, the exact same shirt that he has on right now, that beautiful blue little red logo sheath shirt. He's in the kitchen cooking. He's whipping up some French toast and some beans. Beans on the side of his French toast because he loves beans. The shirt was the only thing he was wearing. Nothing else, just the sheath shirt. And he was looking good with the chef hat and the sheath shirt. And here's the thing. He was light. He was comfortable. He was cool because the sheath underwear, they cool you. They keep everything regulated. The temperature is amazing in these things. Mm-hmm. And also, like Pat mentioned, everything's compartmentalized. There's nothing worse than having to pull everything off the side of your leg. You get everything compartmentalized. It feels good. It feels fresh. And also, one last final note here. The underwear you have right now, whether it's from Kirkland, Walmart, wherever you're getting your underwear, your gitch from, it's the $5 stuff. It ain't going to last. It's going to be in the bin in about 12 months, and your wife, your girlfriend, your mom, whoever buys your underwear, maybe you do. Very few of us actually do take care of their underwear. They're going to be having to go back and buy some more. You get some sheath stuff. It is the best for the money you're going to be spending. It's going to last. It's going to stretch back. It's going to feel great. And I mean, also, if you're watching the video version, look at these red sheath underwears. If you got like Beats Studio headphones, this is going to match great. You got a red iPhone, this is what you want. You got like a red Ram, like Jesper's going to have a red Ram to match the Minnesota Wild. That's what you want. Sheathunderwear.com. Bizkit69 is the promo code. BIZKIT 69. Yes, you heard that correctly. Sheathunderwear.com. Link in the description on the YouTube version or in the podcast notes on the audio version on Apple or Spotify. Thanks to Sheath and Robert for sponsoring us.
If we get a total of, let's say, 40 of you buy some Sheath underwear or shirt, I will change my name to Patty Sheath instead of Patty Shea. Just so let's buy some underwear, guys. Okay.
Seriously, we're desperate. We need your money, please. Just buy some underwear so we can keep this podcast afloat. You see these lights in the video version? They're about to go off next week if you don't buy some underwear from Sheath. Help us help you. Help us in return, and maybe Jesper will come back on because we can actually keep the lights on and finish this podcast. Anyway, God bless the folks at Sheath, and thank you, Robert. Pat, please save this podcast before I derail us any further.
So, for me, I'm curious of goalies always seem to have something unique individually about them, like in the preparation, I think. Like, as an example, like Swayman at Maine, he would just kind of, before the game, he would put his headphones on. He wouldn't speak to anyone for like a good couple hours before the game, just dialed it in. Then there was another goalie I had. He was very social, very interactive because he'd want to get his mind off it. And then there was another goalie who would go sit in the stands for like a few hours before the game. Now, what is your unique like pregame, whether it's a superstition, a ritual, or just preparation thing that kind of dials you in?
I don't know if I have something very weird. I usually go up in the stands and sit a little bit and watch over the ice with a coffee. I usually stretch and prepare myself as everyone else. I always have music in my ear, but I'm usually having it pretty low and so I can speak with everyone. I would like to say that I'm a little bit in between and I'm pretty normal, but my teammates are probably gonna say that I'm weird because that's how everyone sees goalies.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think I have anything that really sticks out. On ice, I'll do the exact same every time. When we're out there warming up, I'll skate in the same circles. I'll take us the same amount of shots every warm up, and always get back to the same spots and just do the things in the same way every practice and every especially every warm up we're out there on the ice. So I'll try. I try my best to do the same every time, so I know that I'm prepared. But I don't think I have anything that's very weird or very special. But as I say, if you ask my teammates, they're probably gonna see something that I'm not remembering, or something I don't think it's weird.
Maybe we'll have to ask them and see.
Yeah, we gotta get them on the podcast.
But until then, we'll take your word.
Do you ever find like you're like defending yourself? Like guys are like, Jesper, dude, like you're the weirdest guy I know. Like you take the tackle when it comes to like odd ducks for goalies, but like you're just sitting back there like I'm pretty normal, man. Like I don't do anything weird. You know, I don't say weird things. I don't think weird things. I'm not I'm a pretty normal goalie. Like do you ever find yourself kind of in that predicament? Like what do they see that you don't? Or we're like maybe you and I are just so messed up in the brain and between the ears that we don't see these things that maybe Pat picks up on. It's like I think Trav's off his meds again today. I think there's something wrong with this guy.
Yeah, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe I'm just thinking my way of being is normal, and the other players can find something weird in me, and they probably do, because something has to do with us goalies throughout the years. There's always one of all those goalies that are being weird, so all of us have to be weird. But I guess I do something that I just can't come up with, and I just like to see myself a little bit normal. But as I said, if you ask my teammates, they're 100% gonna come up with anything, something special.
Yeah, there's always that one goalie that just like does the most weird things. He's just that complete odd duck. Like he's like hanging from the ceiling, doing backflips and somersaults. And he's like, "Okay, guys, I'm ready for the game." And that's the guy that stains the goalie name and makes us look bad, eh?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Trav, you're not doing any weird things? I feel like you're the kind of guy that might do a few weird things before a game.
You know, now that you mention it, when I was playing junior, I was the shower guy. Like your shower guy, I was the shower guy. And what I mean by that is like I would have a shower before a game. Like I'd show up to the rink, first thing I'd do, drop the drawers, get in the shower, and sit there for 10 minutes. And sit there with the door open so I can talk to one of the guys. Like I'd sit kind of like in line with the locker room for like one of my junior teams. And so the guy sitting beside me in the room, I'd just be like, "Yo, Jonesy, yeah, how was school, dude?" As I'm just like in the shower, just butt naked staring at. Yeah. And then after the game, same thing. Like this year, I've kind of like reinvigorated that. Like our captain, like we carpool to and from all of our games. And I'm the shower guy again. You know, I'll hop in the shower because I get undressed pretty quick. I'll come out and he'll be like, "Trav, are you already out here?" I'm like, you know what? Oh, damn it. I got to take my clothes off. I got to hop in the shower, and then we got to have a coffee in the shower and just kind of converse and then go on our way. So I might actually, now that I think about it, I may be the one that's kind of ruining it.
You're a shower guy? Well, dude, I mean, the shower is a whole nother life.
But the shower guy I have always had one guy there is the shower guy on my team. Like all the teams have one.
This is the ultimate shower guy.
Yeah, I know one on my team right now. They're always showers before every game. Like we go on a road trip, or we get to a new city, or we're packing up our gear in the new arena. He's always in the shower directly the first moment we get there.
There's always a shower guy. There's some dad out there who's like, "My son is the shower guy," which reminds us, we're going to talk to you about our next amazing sponsor.
Guys, welcome back from... No, we're not even on a break. So, yes.
We're just starting.
Thank you to the boys over at... and girls. The group over at Manscaped. They're supporting the podcast. Recently, I actually called Trav today, and I was like, "Trav, I'm the lightest I've been in... probably it's 2 years. I weighed in the lightest I've been." Little did he know why. I was like, "Yeah, I just skated. I'm dehydrated." But also, I shaved my whole body with the Manscaped razor. I'm talking chest, quads, calves, armpits, beard, neck, everything except the hair on my head. So what I didn't know is it would cut 4 pounds off my body. But also, the lighter you are, the faster you are. Like, if you're doing a little lap around the ice, if you shave your body with Manscaped everywhere, you're cutting probably non-factually 2 whole seconds off your lap time. And if you calculate that into your gameplay, I think it calculates out to you scoring at least 15 more goals than you would have scored prior to shaving your body with the Manscaped razor, because it makes you that much better and that much faster.
Yeah, and the PIMs will be down because you're going faster. You don't got to hook a guy. You don't have to, run into the goalie accidentally on purpose. All that stuff. Also, we should clarify, these are not guarantees. These are not facts, because after the last lawsuit we had to kind of go back on a couple of, like, we were promising guys are going to be making $100K a year if you get the lawn. Like, you shave a lawnmower, you'll be making $100K a year. Yeah. Manscaped's like, no, you can't do that. You got to cut that out. So we're going to stick to the facts. It's going to keep you light. It's got a 90-minute battery life. Like, look at this thing. Like, Jesper, he's a Swede. He only needs like 15 minutes on this thing. Me, I need like 5 minutes. Pat, these guys like an ape.
I'm a hairy guy.
Twice. Yeah. This guy needs 2 charges twice a week, and that's fine. Sometimes that's just the way the hand that you're dealt. You get genetics where you're a hairy guy like Pat. Yeah. So you know what you do? You buy 2. Me and Jesper get 1. Pat, you buy 2. Or you at home. If you're watching the video version or on the audio version, you get 2 of these things.
It's pretty I'm going to be honest. It picks up, like, if you use like a normal razor, say like Phillips, you're like using it, it doesn't get all the hair. So you have to like trim your arm hair, like me, I'm a hairy guy, or you get the dad hairs on your shoulders. Any other razor, it doesn't catch it because they're like thinner, but they're longer. The Manscaped razor just clips them all very smoothly. So if you have hairy like shoulders and arms and like up here, chest, everything, it's the best for shaving body hair. Like, it truly is. No, that's non-biased. If you want help and you're a hairy guy like myself and you want to shave or trim your body hair, Manscaped is the best option.
Yeah, Jesper, quick question for you related to the ad. Do you have a woman? Do you have a girlfriend at this moment in time?
No, I don't.
Okay, so
start
you
using
and Pat
Manscaped.
Yeah, it could help you. But see, so you and Pat are both single. I have a woman at home in Canada. I'm a loyal, faithful, honest man. Here's the deal. Maybe you have a woman. Maybe you're watching the podcast. Maybe you're a woman and you have a man who, your relationship's on the rocks. You get this. You get your woman to use it on you in the shower, or vice versa. Bonding time. You create a conversation and it sparks the whole relationship. Sparks ignite. Everybody's happy. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You go to manscaped.com, use the promo code. What is our promo code again? Is it Bizkit? Yeah, Bizkit. Promo code Bizkit. You're going to get 20% off, free shipment. Actually, this just in, not guaranteed, please don't sue us. We're going to bring Jesper down to the Manscaped factory in San Diego, and he's going to package your order and send it out the door. So if you want a game used, maybe we can get that to happen to you. Game used, game signed, autographed, Manscaped package from Jesper Wallstedt. We'll take care of you. Link in the description, manscaped.com.
Don't quote us.
Use the
Don't
promo
quote
code
us.
Bizkit. Please don't sue us. We can't have another lawsuit
No
after
promises.
last week's episode.
Oh, well.
Well, anyways,
So,
back to the pod here.
Yes,
thank you to our
Manscaped,
sponsors
for keeping the lights on. God bless you guys. Where were we? We got really off track real fast.
If you have any more from the Q&A you want to ask, we could.
We got, dude. We could be here for like 6 hours asking
we don't
questions
want
in
to
the
do
Q&A.
that. But if there's any,
you wanna,
that stand out. We could...
Yeah, let's go with a couple more personal ones. I like these ones. Favorite fruit. Also, what do you have against watermelon? I guess this guy's assuming you don't like watermelon.
I actually love watermelon, and I love all kinds of melon usually.
Likes melon.
Not so long.
Yeah, there we go.
You got me there. No, I think melons are great, so I have nothing against them.
It almost comes across like you think we're attacking. Like, I don't hate watermelon. Like, there's nothing wrong with watermelon. I'm an equal opportunity man. I like cantaloupe. I like honeydew, pineapple, any kind of melon, papaya. I like
melons. Who's asking this question? They just assume he doesn't like watermelons?
Derek's Wolf. Derpist Wolf. I can't read these usernames. Yeah, this is the question. Hey, he's a fruit guy.
So
I'm the shower guy, he's a fruit guy.
If he's listening to this episode, I'm kind of curious, like, what about him made you think, oh, you know what? He doesn't like watermelon. I can sense it. Like, if maybe this guy's like a very, he thinks at least he knows fruit and he knows guys who like fruit, and then he had a read on you. So I'm kind of curious, but weird take.
This is another good question. I like this one. I think this might be the best one yet. Why don't you have a great mullet? Why don't you have a great mullet like another individual hosting this podcast? Care to comment?
I actually had a very long hair when I was younger, down to my shoulders. But as I grew up, I didn't really thought I fit into it very well, and I personally don't think it's very Swedish to have a mullet nowadays. But yeah, if it fits you, maybe I should try it. But I'm pretty happy with the hairstyle I'm go rocking with right now. So I don't know.
Successful.
It's working.
A
It's
successful
clearly working.
haircut.
Well, if we're looking at a fact-based perspective, Jesper's haircut is working. Mine, sound off in the comment section. Describe my hairstyle correlating to my life goals, my hockey career, if you don't mind, in the comment section on the YouTube page. Speaking of which, Movember, any plans for a mustache or a muzzy?
I'm not the guy who can grow a really good mustache or beard either, and I'm trying my best. I get a little bit, but I'm probably gonna try to make the best out of it. But as I said, I'm not very hairy of a guy. I'm trying my best. I love beards, so I would love to grow out one. But I'm too young right now, and I probably don't have the genes to get it. So we'll see. I'm doing my best on it.
Trev, could you grow a beard at 18?
Oh, you know what? My connectors, if you're watching the video version, the connectors, like these pieces were missing. But I think when I turned like 20, the connectors came in, and now I have like what I have. And I'm committing. I'm going full Hulk Hogan handlebars, if you're watching the video version, all the way down right to the neck. I'm doing it for Movember. My woman's at home. I have nobody to answer to for the next 30 days. And I'm getting a head start. I'm getting a week head start. And Pat, will you join me? I texted Pat twice this week. Are you going to do a handlebars mustache? He read and did not reply to either text that I sent him. Will you do that for me? Mustache competition.
Handlebars? I do usually rock the mustache. I don't know if I'll do handlebars. Maybe I'll give it a try and see how it looks. I'll see how it looks. Come on,
mustache rides. Who wants a mustache ride?
I do like the creepy stash look. It kind of like, I don't know. It's a good look, but not for a full year. I like the
Austin Matthews look.
Yeah, but I couldn't. At 18, I couldn't really grow a beard or a stash. Definitely not a stash. I just had some like fuzz on my chin,
little lip lettuce.
Yeah. So hey, maybe in a few years,
when you're old like us.
Yeah, hopefully it starts to grow hopefully in a couple of months, but I don't see that as a possibility. So I'll reach out for a couple of years.
Yeah, he's starting in June. He's getting a real big head start on Movember.
Yeah.
It's like, better start. I might be a little behind schedule. But, the Swedes have those genes, though, like the Viking look, like the Leif Erikson look. So it should be, like, somewhere in you, like the genes will come in and you'll have that deadly, like, Swedish death metal beard, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I know a lot of guys up here where I'm playing right now that has full beards, full stash when they were 15, 16. So the genes are very Swedish if you get those, but unfortunately, I'm not that guy.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We could pass you off as a Manscaped athlete, though. Look at Jesper. This guy's always shaving. He's always taking care of it. He never shaves. It's like a semi-annual trim.
Yeah. Use Manscaped twice a year.
Speaking of the Slangin The Bizkit podcast alumni, you know who a great SHL goalie would be with a beard? Jonas Enroth. I feel like if he had a beard, he would really be able to pull that off.
Yeah, I think so. Doesn't he have a little bit?
Yeah, he's got a little bit. Yeah, he's got a little, but I'm thinking if he pulls off the full, if Jonas committed to the full beard, that'd be a sharp look, I think.
Be a look for him.
Yeah, I think that would fit in really good.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's start the campaign. Everybody go spam Jonas on Instagram. Tell him we want you to grow a beard for Movember.
You need it.
On that topic, a couple questions SHL related. 2 questions. 1, best fans in the SHL and best rink to play in the SHL. You can't answer Lulea.
Oh.
Best fans, best rink.
Yeah,
can't answer.
I haven't actually played at so many because last year was COVID, of course, so we didn't play with any crowd. And this year we have already started at a couple of arenas, but we haven't played them all. I know both Leksand and Rögle when we were playing. Both them have really good fans. And I would say best building to play in is probably Rögle or Färjestad. Those arenas are really good and really nice, and they're all nearly always fully packed. So there's a really good environment in there with a lot of singing and all those Swedish things. So I'm really looking forward to playing in Färjestad actually with a full crowd there. It's gonna be a nice arena to play in.
Question: how far away is Färjestad from Gothenburg, like from where I'm at in Homestead?
I think probably a 4-hour drive or something, I would guess.
Okay. And this is a true story here. I would love to go to see you play Färjestad, because on my way back home from the rink, I went to the rink the other day. I'm about an hour away from the rink. So I drove to the rink, got my workout, and I coming back. The Färjestad bus, like they got the logo and everything, like the bus is on the road, like on the same highway as me, and the guy cut me off. I'm not kidding you. No joke, no word of a lie. The guy literally cut me off. So I would love to come and root against them, root for you. Keep it positive here.
That's probably a really good away game if you don't want to travel up to Luleå, which is probably like 18 hours away from where you are.
Yeah, Christmas break, man. I'm not going home at Christmas, so sky's the limit for what I can do at Christmas time. Too expensive to go home. You got any questions, Pat? I think that's... I got one last question.
Q&A?
That basically wraps the Q&A. I got one question, unless you have any more.
Mine's more about like his journey. If you have something.
Okay, well, I'll ask mine. Mine's a little bit. I guess this last one's like a little bit out there, and then we can kind of dial it in for the last home stretch of the podcast. So I guess a lot of people don't put two and two together. Like when we have people that come on the podcast, like yourself, they assume that like we're best friends. Like we grew up, we went to kindergarten together. Like we used to like play in the sandbox and have lunches. Like this one guy asked, he says. Have you and Trav ever played each other, and how long have you been best friends for? They're assuming that we've known each other forever. I literally slid into Jesper's DMs, like, what was it, like 2 months ago, man? 3 months ago?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah, because a bunch of people were messaging me, like, you got to get him on the podcast. I was like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? He messaged me 2 months later. He's like, yeah, he actually, you went into my spam folder, believe it or not, tries to big dot me. But yeah, I'll make some time.
Yeah, that's actually a true story.
Very true.
If I can't remember, I think that was a couple of weeks or so after the draft, maybe a little bit more. And at that moment, my Instagram was very stacked with buzzing. A lot of things. So
like fans or former teammates and friends?
No, mostly Minnesota fans.
Okay.
So at that time, I tried to go through as good as I could. And then you have some setting on your Instagram that you can sort by how many followers the people who have asked the questions have. And I put on that, and for some reason, you ended up there.
Right at the top of the list with that blue check mark, baby.
Trav's no joke on social media.
So then I saw the question, and I thought, why not? I've watched some of your videos, and I know since you played in Sweden, I thought, why not? This could be fun.
Appreciate watching the vlog, and appreciate you being open-minded to it. But let's dial back into the focus here for a second. Let's be honest. The blue check mark, that's why you responded, was it not? True or false? Confirm or deny?
Actually not. I think the biggest reason was just because you were up there. I was going through all my followers, and there, not to be greedy or so, but there was a couple of those with remarks, and myself have one too. So, but then I find you, and I recognized your name, and I was like, yeah, sure, this sounds fun.
Okay, Pat and I have been going at it for about like 2-3 months now. So I got verified about 3 months ago, and Pat's been telling me, Trav, it does nothing. It's for show. It doesn't actually help you. Nobody cares you have a blue check mark except the guys with like 50 followers out there. And I've been trying to find any excuse to be like, listen, I got the verification. Look, there's evidence right there that people care. We still haven't found a case that supports this.
The check mark makes you seem like legit. Say like for you, say like YouTuber, right? It will make people view you as like a legitimate YouTuber. Like they're not. You're not just someone who like does it as a hobby. You're a little. You're legit. You got a check mark. Oh, you must be like legit. But when it comes to some people argue. Some people say otherwise. But maybe I don't know. But I don't think it helps in any sense of like making you viewed as cooler to like your friends or anything. I think they just like get annoyed.
I think I totally agree with you. Actually, I don't think it have done anything for me. Me personally, I just think it's a fun thing to have. But I don't think like doesn't matter at all actually.
Yeah.
Not for me either way.
Funny you mentioned that actually. Like when you say like average people don't really care or even notice it. The first thing I did because we were FaceTiming when I got verified, I texted my mom about it, and she's like, what's a blue check mark? I didn't even know what that is. Does that get you paid or something? Is that like a check? No, it's not a check.
Yeah.
It looks cool though. You know, you're official.
Yeah, that's the only thing I like. It's just something else, but it doesn't do anything.
Did you get a little social media pop when you got drafted by Minnesota? Did your numbers go up?
Yeah, they did. Probably a couple of hundreds or 1,000 or so. But to get that together with last year's World Juniors, I think those are the time when my Instagram popped the most. Otherwise, I get some followers each and every day, but those times were for sure the biggest.
Next step is when you put on the Minnesota sweater, then you're gonna get the big pop. Then you're gonna pass Trav, you know.
Yeah, it happens every day. Happens to everybody eventually.
Yeah. But I'm curious about, you know, growing up in Sweden playing hockey. Like, how old were you when you started playing hockey? Was it always your dream to try to make the NHL specifically, to go over to America? Like, or growing up, was it your, you know, what was your dream? Was that it, or was it to stay in Sweden?
Yeah, I grew up in a town called Västerås. It's 1 hour west of Stockholm. And together with my dad and my brother, who my dad had played hockey when he was younger, and my brother was playing hockey when I grew up. We were, of course, a big hockey family, and both dad and brother being goalies. So I fit into that pretty well and become a goalie too. I think I started playing hockey when I was around 6 or something. And me and my brother always loved to watch Henrik Lundqvist, of course, because we're very Swedish of us. So me and him were always following the Rangers and looking at those games because we loved watching him and see his games. So we were staying up late nights watching them together. So at that time, when I probably grew up a little bit, I always wanted to become one of the best goalies. What that didn't really matter. I don't think I really didn't know at that time. But then just getting over playing NHL was always a dream, and is still today. But when I was growing up, I always, like, my mom and my grandma and everything always asked me like, oh, what do you want to become? And when I was really young, I always said that I wanted to be a president for Sweden.
Really?
So I really wanted to be the Swedish president when I was really young. But eventually I grew up a little bit and I said I want to be a hockey goalie.
There you go.
And then we're like, okay, don't you want to have a regular job? Don't you want to do anything on the side? And I said no, I don't need school. I don't need a job. I don't need anything. I'm gonna play hockey. And that has been the journey since then. Like, still at 8th grade and 7th grade in those years, I still came up to my mom and said, okay, Mom, I want to quit school. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to play hockey full time. And at that time, I was maybe 13, 14 years old. And I said to my mom, like, I don't want to go into school anymore. And of course, for every parent, they'll think I'm ridiculous. Like, what are you saying? Yeah. You need to have an education. You need to do this. But I always said, like, one day I'm gonna prove it. I don't need school. I'm gonna play hockey.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, this guy's the man.
Yeah. So I always told him that, and then when I got to Luleå, I went to school. Usually when you move away, it's for the hockey gym and hockey college or high school or whatever you want to say. So I moved to Luleå to go to that high school. And the high school here is 3 years. So after 1.5 years, I quit school, and it's full time played hockey.
There you go.
So
we'll move cotton. Let's see if it pans out for him.
Like, yeah, so that was like a minor step on my way. That I was like, okay, now I'm gonna do this full time. So when I was 16 years old, I quit school, and I think like two months after that, I signed my first SHL contract with Lulea.
Wow.
And then the season after, I did my first season in the SHL, and now I'm going into my second season, drafted by Minnesota also. So my dream has always been to be a hockey goalie on full time and do that as a living. So that's, looking back to it, that's pretty incredible. But that's the way.
That's a confident move.
Yeah, my mindset has always been that way. Like I'm gonna play hockey no matter what you say, no matter what I do. It's hockey full time all the way.
You feel inspired, Pat? You feel inspired after listening to that? I know I do.
Yeah, I want to go back and quit school now too.
Dude, I was going to say, I want to go back in time, clip this podcast, and show it to my mom in grade 5. I'm out. Kick the desk. I'm not, and my mom's a teacher too, so my mom loves, school and shit. Just kick the desk, be like, Mom, look at this. Wallstedt did it. I'm out. She's like, who the hell's Wallstedt? He's not even born at this point in time. And the amount of parents that are going to be messaging you and me, my kid wants to quit school because of you boys. Hey. Great. Let him do it. We like that.
Now,
I shouldn't really say to kids that they should quit school. My parents were always the one who told me to have good grades and do those things in school. But for some reason, I didn't like to listen to them when they were saying that, and had my own mindset of, okay, one day I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do hockey full time. But for all the kids out there that are listening, don't quit school. It's not a good idea unless
you're me. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, well, unless you're, you got that gut feeling. Like, you were probably confident for a reason. I mean, you're probably pretty elite even at that age, where you were like, yeah, I know I'm good at this, and you're gonna go for it. Don't just quit school because you're like, yeah, I like hockey better. I'm gonna go play men's league. Just have a little bit of awareness. Don't just go quitting school for no damn reason. But
probably don't do it when you're 13, 14. Wait until you get up in your age, if that's the reason you want to do it.
Oh, can you imagine some kid,
That's
Mom,
awesome.
you know what? I'm not going to go to school all of next week. I got a men's league game tonight at 12:30 at night. So I'm going to be pulling the chute tomorrow.
yeah.
Oh, man. This is awesome. Pat, what do you say we cap it here? Man, we got so much good stuff.
There's a lot of
amazing.
A lot of good stuff.
Dude, you know what? Our biggest fear when we have guests on, like you, like we haven't, conversed in person and whatnot, just over text, is like, is this guy going to be like a squid? Is he going to be like an absolute stiff? Are we going to struggle? And I'm going to text Pat like, don't ask these questions. Like, this is going to be a terrible podcast. These are the kind of podcasts we live for, because it's exciting. It's the thrill. It's like, what's going to show up? It's like a box of chocolates. You never know who's going to show up on the other side of the screen. Yeah. And you get an amazing conversation from some guy kicking down desks saying, I ain't going to school, Ma. Kick it like the Beastie Boys. I'm going to go play in the SHL.
No, our listeners or viewer, depending on if they're on YouTube or Spotify or Apple, they're big on looking into that behind the scenes, or into the mind of the athlete. That's how I have any type of following, is because they were curious of what it was like to be a college athlete. So I think this, the way we kind of did the Q&A by accident, but I think you gave a lot of information and just kind of gave a look inside your mind, and I think a lot of the viewers will find that very interesting. So I think it went well.
Yeah, dude. And honest to God, shout out to my woman, because she was the one who gave me that age. She's like, you should ask him some questions. Get a Q&A posted. God bless your soul, honey. I miss you. She's probably not even listening to the podcast anymore. She's so tired of me. Call her 6 times a day. Honey, what are you up to? Same thing I was doing 20 minutes ago.
Bless her.
Yeah, God bless her soul. She is the
bless
breadwinner.
Mrs. 4 Oilers.
Oh, God. Mrs. 5 Oilers,
lady.
soon to be. Anyway, on behalf of Pat Shea and myself, Jesper Wallstedt included, we'd like to thank you for listening to Slangin The Bizkit, the video version on YouTube. If you're listening, leave a comment. Do you like Jesper? Is he a cool guy? Maybe you're offended by his take on watermelons. Whatever it is, leave a comment down below. If you're on Apple or Spotify, leave us a review. Let us know. Maybe you like the podcast. Maybe you hate us. We'd love to hear from you, and we will reply. We are not a big deal podcast nor big deal YouTubers. We actually care, and we'll reply to your comments. Thank you for listening. As always, new episode every Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Winnipeg time, 5 a.m. if you're on the Pacific Coast, 2 p.m. in Sweden. And we will catch you next week for our weekly episode next week on Slangin The Bizkit. Good night, everybody.
Great.
Wow, what an episode.